Hey guys, Uncommon Ramen here. The last couple of weeks I've been doing videos on MetaZoo, and we're going to keep up with that because MetaZoo just happens to have a lot of content in it right now because it's brand new. But really quickly, before we go into the main content of this video, which is in the title, I wanted to go again into some rules clarification. I guess I don't really necessarily have to do this because you can read the comments in the previous video, but in my previous video we talked about the regen mechanic, or in this case trait, and I had recently gone to a hobby shop with a guy who had kickstarted MetaZoo and was in the Discord and was studying to be a metazoologist, and his interpretation of this was that this X integer shouldn't have been there. And that it regened full life points when used. And the rule book, the secondary rule book for 2021, kind of alluded to that as well. But from what I'm understanding, one of my commenters did go into the Discord and ask for a definitive answer. And I am part of the Discord, so I did see the posts and everything. And an actual metazoologist. And so for those of you who don't know what a metazoologist is, they are official judges for the game of MetaZoo. An official metazoologist confirmed that this X integer should have been a 10. Okay, so a beastie with this trait recovers 10 life points each turn until it reaches its maximum life points. So they don't regenerate all of their life points immediately. It is in fact 10. So I apologize for the confusion. I thought I was getting the right information because, again, this person was studying to be a metazoologist, and of course the 2021 rule book does kind of say, or does still allude to the idea that it regens full life points, but from what I'm understanding, it is supposed to be 10 per turn. So again, I'm sorry for the confusion. This is a new game, and I would really suggest that everyone that does have like really big questions about this hop into the Discord and ask some questions there, because there are a lot of really helpful people there with a lot of great information, and for sure there are official judges there that have official rulings that can be confirmed. So just check that out. Hopefully this is the last time we have to talk about regen, but again, because of the ambiguity in the rulebook, that X right there kind of makes it very unusual, but hopefully this is the last time. So now we'll get into the main content. So I said Slide Rock Bolter is unplayable. So really quickly, let's talk about what I'm talking about here. So first, we're going to look at the 2020 rulebook. Because the 2020 rulebook only ever mentions powers right here, okay? Which means that there's actually no description in the entirety of this rulebook that tells you what powers are. But in the updated version, the 2021 version of this rulebook, there is actually updated text on the power mechanic, which is this guy right here. Power, Groundbreaker, slide Rock Bolter, loses 30 life points, place target aura page into the afterlife. So it's basically, it can destroy aura pages at the cost of its own life points via this power. However, according to the 2021 rulebook, powers can only be activated if you exhaust, or if you fatigue the beastie. Okay, so that's where the problem comes in. This card is basically unplayable because if you read its fourth wall text, and I'm going to try and get a good zoom here, at any time, any opposing caster may place a stone on Slide Rock Bolter to fatigue it. As long as the stone remains on Slide Rock Bolter, it does not awaken, or it does not awaken at the start of your turn. During your turn, you may pay two Earth Terra to remove a stone from this page. Okay, so it can only awaken at the beginning of your turn. If it has a stone on it, it cannot awaken which means that during your turn, after the start of your turn, you can pay the 2 Terra to remove the stone, but the awakening phase is done. You're already past that. So he's going to sit there fatigued. And according to the text here, at any time, any opposing caster may place a stone on Slide Rock Bolter. So even if your opponent just waited till his next turn to place the stone on it, you're still going to have to pay 2 during your next turn, because it does clearly say that in order to, it says during your turn, you may pay 2 Earth Terra to remove a stone. So if he continuously plays or puts a stone on it during his turns, you will never get to use Slide Rock Bolter. And let me just put this into perspective. These are stones. This is not to say that the viewers are not aware of what a stone is. This is just to show you the portability of a stone. Any polished rock in your collection is a stone. So as long as you have a pocket full of these guys, you only need one. You only need one. So you could, as long as you have one, every turn that's yours, you can just effectively say, okay, I'm placing a stone on Slide Rock Bolter, which is going to fatigue it. Your opponent can't do anything because he can only pay those 2 Earth Terra on his turn. So it becomes the start of his turn where he's supposed to awaken. He cannot awaken the beastie. He then pays the 2 Earth Terra to remove the stone. He still cannot awaken it because the text does not allow it to awaken. So he'd have to have something in his hand, a card per se, that will allow him to do so. I understand that Lightning in a Bottle can do that. I'm not aware of that because I do not own that card, but Lightning in a Bottle can do that. But that means that you'd have to have that splashed in your deck, and you'd have to be using it pretty actively. So alone, Slide Rock Bolter is unplayable. It cannot be played. Let me just go into that one more time. At any time, any opposing caster may place a stone. So even after you've removed the stone, your opponent, let's say it's your turn, and there's a stone on the card, and your opponent pays 2 Terra to remove the stone. Now, immediately after he pays that 2 Earth Terra to remove the 2 Earth Aura to remove the stone, you can just say, okay, I'm gonna place a stone on it, and now your opponent has to pay 2 more Earth Aura to remove the stone, and then you can just immediately say, okay, putting it back on. Now, the card has Burrow, but as far as I know, Burrow does not prevent you from being able to play on the 4th wall effect, because the 4th wall effect is kind of like outside of that. The Slide Rock Bolter also has Stone Skin and Defender. So on your opponent's turn, he's got a ton of health. And he can only actually take damage from attacks and defenses. So as long as he keeps burrowing, he's pretty safe. But he still will always end up being fatigued as long as you're carrying some stones in your pocket. And he's actually, if he didn't have this text that says at any time, any opposing caster, he'd be actually pretty usable. Actually, he would still, even if it said on your opponent's turn, he would still not be what needs to change is this: during your turn, you may pay 2 Earth Aura to remove a stone. That needs to say at any point in time, and cost needs to be less steep. Because, I mean, I don't even know what the cost would be. The power is pretty good. Groundbreaker to destroy aura pages. It is the equivalent of land destruction in Magic the Gathering, which is extremely powerful. But if you're going to give it that ability, is the only way to play it Lightning in a Bottle? And if so, is it even worth putting in your deck? That's why I don't know. This is my personal opinion. I think Slide Rock Bolter is unplayable. It is a fantastic card, but it has a drawback that is extreme, to say the very least. So yeah, that's why I believe Slide Rock Bolter is unplayable. If you have any comments about it, hey, put it in the comments below. I'll definitely try and get back to you. Maybe you guys have different insight on it. Maybe you think I'm wrong. I mean, I could be. Who knows? This is a brand new game. And if you like the video, go ahead and like and subscribe. And until next time, guys, peace.